Hi, friends. How is everyone doing? With Christmas here, I trust you are all in the festive spirit, enjoying the lively celebrations with family and friends. Wishing you a joyous Christmas filled with warmth, laughter, and moments of pure delight. May this festival season bring you peace, happiness, and the company of loved ones. Today, I have brought a true story which is narrated by Pastor Rob Reed of Brooklyn Church, New York, USA, which happened around the year 1980. The name of the story is Happy Christmas Reunion. The brand new pastor and his wife, newly assigned to their first ministry, to reopen a church in suburban Brooklyn in early October 1980s, arrived at the church very excited about their new opportunities. When they saw their church, it was in a state of deterioration with lot of damages and needed more repair work. They set a goal for themselves to have everything done in time to have their first service on Christmas Eve a grand one. They worked hard repairing pews, plastering walls, paintings, etc. And on December 18 were ahead of schedule and just about finished. On December 19, a terrible tempest, a driving rainstorm hit the area and lasted for 2 days. On the 21st, the pastor went over to the church. His heart sank when he saw that the roof had leaked, causing a large area of plaster about 20 by 8 feet to fall off the front wall of the sanctuary just behind the pulpit, beginning about head high. The pastor cleaned up the mess on the floor and, not knowing what else to do but to postpone the Christmas Eve service. He was thinking about this and was heading home. On the way, he noticed that a local business was having a flea market sale for charity, so he stopped in. One of the items was a beautiful handmade ivory colored crocheted tablecloth with exquisite work, fine colors, and cross embroidered right in the center. It was just the right size to cover up the hole in the front wall of the sanctuary at the church. He bought it and headed back to the church to see if it was fitting all right. By this time, it had started to snow. He saw an older woman running from the opposite direction who was trying to catch the bus but missed it. The pastor invited her to wait in the warm church for the next bus, which would come only 45 minutes later. She sat in a pew and paid no attention to the pastor while he got the ladder, hangers, etc., to put up the tablecloth as a fine wall tapestry. The pastor could hardly believe how beautiful it looked, and it covered up the entire problem area. Then he noticed the woman walking down the center aisle. Her face was like a sheet, rather in a shock and filled with intense emotion. Pastor, she asked, where did you get this tablecloth? The pastor explained. The woman asked him to check the lower right corner to see if the initials EBG were crocheted. And yes, they were. These were the initials of this same woman, and she had made this tablecloth 35 years before in Austria. The woman could hardly believe it as the pastor told how he had just gotten the tablecloth. The woman explained that before the war, she and her husband were well to do people in Austria. When the Nazis came, she was forced to leave. Her husband was going to follow her the next week. She was captured and sent to prison and never saw her husband or home again. The pastor wanted to give her the tablecloth, but she made the pastor keep it for the church. In return, the pastor insisted on driving her back home. That was the least he could do. She lived on the other side of the Staten Island and had come to Brooklyn only for that day for a house cleaning job. 3 days passed by, and what a wonderful service they had on the Christmas Eve. The church was almost full. The music and the spirit were great. At the end of the service, the pastor and his wife greeted everyone at the door, and many said that they would return the next day. One older man, whom the pastor recognized from the neighborhood, continued to sit on one of the pews and stare, and the pastor wondered why he wasn't leaving. The man asked him where he got the tablecloth on the front wall because it was identical to one that his wife had made years ago when they lived in Austria before the war. And how could there be two tablecloths so much alike? He told the pastor how the Nazis came, how he forced his wife to flee for her safety, and he was supposed to follow her, but he was arrested and put in a prison. He never saw his wife or his home again in all these 35 years between. The pastor asked him if he would allow him to take him for a small ride in his car. They drove to Staten Island and to the same house where the pastor had taken the woman 3 days earlier. He helped the man climb the 3 flights of stairs to the woman's apartment, knocked on the door, and there he saw the greatest Christmas reunion he could ever imagine. This was probably the best ever Christmas gift he had got, as well as he had given anyone in his life. The old couple lost themselves in old memories, while the pastor stood still, unmoving, overwhelmed by happiness. The key takeaway: as the famous Bible verse goes, now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Faith can help people navigate life in a way that makes it less frightening. This may be one of those examples of how all things, even war and privation, work together for good in the end. It may be that the circumstances of existence and the inexplicable vicissitudes of living are all interwoven into a meaningful pattern of high value by the function of the Supreme and the over control of the Trinity. Once again, wishing you all wonderful holiday season, a Merry Christmas. Let peace and joy be with you and your family always and forever. Be happy, keep faith, and keep smiling always. Bye.